Hi, I'm April Duran, and you're tuning in to Raghouse Media, empowering girls and women in music, sports, and entertainment.
Hello, I'm Shira Girl. I'm your co-host.
And I'm Kitten, Ville.
All right, we are starting our new season here with Kitten, Ville, and Shira Girl. They are amazing. ShiraGirl.com is a musician. Kitten, Ville, a famous burlesque dancer. So let's just jump right in. How did you get involved in burlesque?
I started burlesque in 1995 with the Velvet Hammer Burlesque, which they were the original group in LA. There was no burlesque before them, and Michelle Carr, who is the producer, and I were go-go dancers at a few clubs in LA, Club Fuck and Cinematic, and we were already
Fun. that was the 80s.
And 90s.
Oh, 90s.
1990s.
Oh my goodness.
Get that on the good stuff.
They
Were you out here in the
gay
90s?
clubs.
No, never.
They were gay clubs in the 90s, and we were the go-go dancers, and I always made my costumes to look like burlesque dancers because I thought they were just amazing, fierce-looking women.
Mm-hmm.
So I would copy kind of their style to bring that to stage, to go-go dance. And Michelle was always dancing in pasties and a G-string or bullet bras, and we would talk like, God, wouldn't it be great if burlesque was a thing nowadays?
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of pretty much made it happen in 1995, Valentine's Day, and it sold out. And from there on, burlesque kind of started in Southern California.
That is so amazing.
Yeah.
So you're a key part of like the resurgence of burlesque into popular culture. I mean, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm one of the originators of modern burlesque, I guess.
That's
keeper
pretty
of
Legend.
the
It's
flame.
a legend right here.
That's really cool. I mean, because burlesque was huge in what date? When did it come out?
I think the popular culture thinks of it as the 40s and 50s for
40s and
sure.
50s.
You know, Tempest Storm and Lily St. Cyr and people like that. But it actually started in the late 1800s, 1890s with the British blondes coming over from the UK and doing like a vaudeville, and from there it escalated into what we think of as burlesque with the stripping and the costumes that I think is what most of us think of when we think. With burlesque, it's not all about, it's more what you're keeping on as equal as what you're taking off, because burlesque is about the tease. So we're not just jumping on stage and getting naked. Like that's a whole different show. But burlesque is about the teasing and the building up anticipation. So if you think of it as you're a package, you're a beautiful package that you slowly unwrap for somebody, and that's what burlesque is about. You're bringing this anticipation to the audience. What's burlesque and what is the difference between, like a burlesque and stripping or something like this, is that burlesque, you're building that anticipation almost like an orgasm or like the best sex you've ever had, right?
Yeah.
So,
Start slow.
You come out and you see the package and it's like, ooh, that's exciting, right? So it's all the eye candy at first. And then I feel like, when you're taking off your glove or something, that's almost like the first kiss. Because when you think of it, everybody in the audience has naked hands. So why is your naked hand interesting? Why are they waiting for you to take that glove off and to see your naked flesh?
The way you do it.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So it's like it's building that anticipation with the timing and being slow, and your movements can be fast, but it's really just building that tension up, And so when it's done, you're just like, oh, and it doesn't matter if you're twirling the tassels or how naked or how clothed you are. It's that teasing is what makes a good burlesque show.
One of my questions was to Kitten, Ville, was what's the difference between burlesque dancing and stripping? Because I know all the clothes sometimes come all the way off in stripping, but so she just answered that question. So that's really good to know. And the build up, it's sexy, it's sensuous, it's, loving yourself.
With burlesque too, we choreograph everything. We come up with our own music. So the difference of like a stripper or something like that, I believe it's just house music, or I'm not sure if they make routines. And there's all kinds of styles of burlesque. So we have the classic burlesque, which was, the bump and grind and little things that I was kind of using earlier. But then there's nerd burlesque or nerdlesque, which
Nerdlesque.
Nerdlesque. So that's
from the
taking,
NerdCon and all that. That's
so taking Star Wars or Comic Con stuff and turning that
I would dress as
costume
Chewbacca.
and into burlesque dancing this way. There's boylesque.
Boylesque, I've heard,
yeah.
The New York Burlesque has that whole boylesque.
Yeah.
Honestly, wasn't my favorite.
And then
Like, you can keep that on, thanks.
no, there's if you see some really
boylesque.
good boylesque, oh my god, like it's.
I didn't
There
even
was
know.
one where they would be like eating a banana. They would do some really raunchy stuff with like chocolate and banana. I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
That's what for burlesque. It goes for everything. So the classic to the raunchy, and like it really does. There's exploring these avenues, and it's not for everybody, but also it grows it so it doesn't get stagnant and just dies like it it did in the 60s and things.
I don't think it'll ever die. I mean,
yeah.
And then we, along with the music and stuff that you were talking about, your costumes, your wonderful dress right here. This is gorgeous. So
yes.
I'm sure. Can you stand up? I mean, she just like
gorgeous,
does
honey.
it. Yes.
Word.
She makes it. Oh yeah,
Love
you can do
it.
a little dance for us. Dun, dun,
Beautiful.
Dun, dun, dun,
Have you done a routine in this one? Oh yeah.
This is more my walk around.
You're a pro with that
She already knew what to
zipper,
do.
girl. You could teach a whole class to single women on how to undo your own zipper and do your own zipper because.
Oh yeah.
We do that in the tease class because it really is, and that's a part of burlesque of where I feel like girls are inspired. They see that on stage and they're like, oh, I can do that. I can do that. I can be sexy. I can do this. And to me, it's just like when people see rock and roll and it's that it factor on stage where people are like, oh, I can be a rock star. And then they get a guitar and they're like, oh.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
So
and playing drums is hard. Yeah.
Yeah, so being, I feel like with burlesque, it's the same thing. It seems like, oh, I could take off my clothes, but it's all about doing it in a way where it's like, oh, did that just come off without looking at the zipper or trying to find it? Just that natural flow of it. So it does take a little finessing to.
And that's what we're going to go into, the time and the effort behind your choreography. So we just took a lesson with Kitten DeVille, She Were Girl and I, and it was not easy. She started, I almost felt like as if I was in an aerobics class or something.
I had so much fun.
Yes, it was totally fun. Yes,
I needed a second workout today. It was great.
But yeah, I know my armpits started sweating, and like I was just really. So there is work behind it. So your choreography looks very sensual and smooth, but there is a lot of work behind it.
There's a good, you have to stay in physical shape for it. You have to, your legs carry you a lot with burlesque with the, the bumping, the grinding, the going down onto your knees, getting back up gracefully, all of that.
And Homegirl has 3 kids, by the way.
I can't believe it.
I know, me neither. It is amazing.
You're giving me hope.
I love being active.
Maybe I don't need a surrogate after all. Well, you too, April. You're a hot mom.
I've had 1, 3. After the 1, it's really a big change. So you look great, and a surrogate. You're so hilarious. Oh my goodness.
My best friend's already volunteered.
Oh, cool.
She loves popping them out. She's on her 3rd one.
Oh, nice.
All right, so burlesque, this is why I'm so dear to burlesque. I see all shapes and sizes. I see all ages, all shapes and sizes. How you guys were talking about boylesque, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
So that's really cool that in this industry, that can happen. You could, weigh, 75 pounds, you could weigh 300 pounds. It's all how you carry yourself. And
it is, and it's all, if you're doing it right, it's all sexy. It's all exciting, and I feel that most people, and I think this is what draws people to burlesque, is that it's not this cookie cutter image, because I've been to shows where you have the beautiful cookie cutter girls and they all look the same and they're all kind of doing a variation of the same act in a way, and it gets really boring really quickly. So the diversity of bodies that you see and the different styles, that is what's interesting about it. So it's not just, oh, here's the model form, or here is what the male gaze is. Right. And with burlesque, it's really began, the resurgence of burlesque when we started were girls doing something for women. We were doing our own sexuality, what we thought was sexy, what we were taking back our sexuality and saying, this is sexy.
Yeah.
It's not the porn star look, or it's not this look, but this is sexy. And so it was this empowering of like, fuck you. And the girls that I started with came from pretty much a punk rock history background thing. So it was already this counterculture idea. It wasn't like, oh, we're just so glamorous. That's not how burlesque started when we were bringing it back. It was more in your face, like, fuck
this
you,
is me.
this is glamour, this is what we are calling it. And, you know, that's how.
And everybody had their own style.
And everybody had their own style, and it wasn't watered down, and it wasn't, you know, the pop music of burlesque, you know, and yeah, the diversity is what's amazing. And our community is really a strong community of independent people who welcome that diversity and accept it and grow it and help foster that. So that's what's wonderful about that. Because some people are like, oh, it must be very catty. You've got all these women. And it's like, no, it's like a big pajama party or something. You know, the backstage is just as fun as being on stage.
And if it is catty, so what? You know, I'm all about catty or getting along or, you know, taking your clothes off or keeping them on up to, you know, from there to there. It's all whoever what they want to do. Yeah. You have classes.
I do have classes.
Kitten DeVille, tell us about your classes and your
Seeing who's tuning in.
your classes, and you also travel all over the place.
So I tour Europe 3 months out of the year, every year.
Amazing.
So solid. And I'm touring, I teach, I perform. I try to mix it all up when I'm touring. And then when I'm home, I teach as much as possible, as much as my schedule allows. And I do a 6-week workshop. It's an hour every week. And it's the basics. It's called Burlesque for Beginners. And it's the basic that you need to get up on stage and perform an act. And then we do a show. And so the students have to, within the 6 weeks, learn burlesque, create their own costume, create their own choreography, and then go out and perform it to the live audience.
That's scary. She just
started classes on Wednesday nights right now. And
Hollywood?
No, this is out in Riverside.
Yeah.
So I'm from Riverside area. I grew up in LA, but moved out to Riverside. And a lot of people wanted me to teach out here in LA, but I really wanted to grow something in my own neighborhood because I feel like that's really important.
Out in that area that's not so popular, or because I'm sure there's a lot of burlesque classes out here. Do you ever hear of any, Sheer Girl? And
not really. I might have seen one now and then, you know, but not really.
Yeah. I mean, they're here and they're there. You know, there are classes and stuff like that. But I prefer, like, and I do have girls from LA coming out, or Orange County or the high desert will come out to take classes.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
Normally we're flying out that, you know, in those directions.
Yeah. So, and I like it too because then it's bringing people into my neighborhood and into, I do the classes out of the downstairs gallery of a friend's coffee house.
Oh, cool.
So that way it's a independent business. You know, he's been there, really open to the arts. It's called Back to the Grind. He's always supported artists and bands and everything.
Of course, there's always bands playing there.
Yeah, and it's all ages.
You should go out there.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's more giving back to my own community because he has given so much for us. So I like to keep it in that little pocket as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you teach classes, and you go out 3 times a year to Europe to teach classes.
3 months, yeah.
3 months.
3 consecutive months. I teach classes and perform, so I'm doing both. So
you go out alone or with family?
No, I go out alone.
Which makes it easy for you.
It makes it easier because I'm traveling. Like I usually within the 3 months, I'm hitting 5 to 7 countries.
Wow.
And touring. So I'm never.
Fun.
It's so much fun. I love it. I'm just a natural bore. Like living out of the suitcase is fun, but after 3 months, then it's kind of like I just want to go home.
Yeah. I want to go back to Riverside.
I know that feeling. You got a tour, at the end you're like, all right, I'm ready for my bed.
That's right, because She Were Girl on tour for Warped Tour. You're just on the both of you guys know about that. I don't. I know nothing.
You sleep in a different bed every night. You never know. You got to check for bed bugs.
And it's like you don't know how to eat either because you don't know if you want to hoard food because you might not get it because you're like you kind of are, but you are in
so true.
Your sleep schedule, travel. It's. You know, sometimes it's really cake, and other times it's just
I never even thought of that.
2 hours of sleep, jumping on a plane, getting off, going to rehearsals, and performing. And then being like, woo, up till 3 a.m, and you know.
So you can't. I mean, I guess you can party, but you have to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you'll get sick, or you'll get, you know, I don't know.
I feel like I'm on tour. My body just naturally is just go. Like, it just feels like it's a different mindset. And when I get home, it's just like, whew, okay, I'm crashed for a couple days.
Legs back. Yeah. Very cool. So so that's let's talk about your other adventures that you jumped into just recently.
Yes. So I just recently last year started a band called Apollo Sex with my husband Sean DeVille. And this came about because I've been wanting to do kind of a singing duet thing for a while.
It's such an awesome creation, as a matter of fact. When I saw it, I was like, why haven't they done this years and years and years ago? Because he's like a punk.
What genre is it?
Like a
punk rock, 1977 kind of sounding music.
Play together.
And
super fun.
It's my husband's been in bands for years, and I've been wanting to do this duet with this song from the Cramps called Bad Girl. And I was like, oh, this would be so great. And I kind of timed it out so we could duet it. And he just kept going, nah, like just kind of brushing me off one day. And then
that was like his spotlight.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't want to mix the two. Like, he doesn't want Kitten DeVille to take over his world. Yeah, he had no choice, really, because I produce a show with my friend Ming Dynates, and it's called Rock and Roll Strip Show. And,
fun.
Yeah, so it's live bands doing all the music for the girls to dance to. And
that would be something
normally we were doing it up here in LA, and we'd have our own band that we kind of created for the show. And we were doing it at the Key Club for years.
Love the Key Club.
And we just recently, we kind of put it on hiatus for a bit because it was a really, large production.
Yeah.
Expensive to do. So, but Club in Riverside had asked me to bring that to Riverside with a guarantee and stuff. So I needed not a cheap house band, a house band that I could afford. And I was like, Sean, your band, Kill Kill City, wants to do my show. And they were all like, ooh, burlesque. And the guys were all like, yes. And then I'm like, and by the way, we're going to do this duet. So I snuck that into it. And then after that, he had so much fun doing it. And it was like, well, let's start our own band.
Kitten DeVille, burlesque dancer professional, travels to Europe all the time to teach 3 months out of the year. She also started her Apollo Sex band, and you're also DJing.
Oh yeah, so I'm DJing as of last year. I started DJing as well, so I've been DJing guest DJ spots sometimes when I'm touring. For larger events as well, like Exotic World, which is out in Vegas. And then every Monday night in Riverside, I DJ at a little local bar called Pixels, and it's a rock and roll, glam rock type night. And so I DJ there with Sean, and I DJ on Mondays. So that's fun. It's also local and easy.
You go to Vegas every Monday?
No. That one's in Riverside.
Okay.
And we DJ vinyl. So it's just
cool.
DJing straight vinyl. And so that's and it's fun. But so I do both. I can do the computer, but I prefer the vinyl. So the Monday nights are just vinyl.
I have a question for Kitten. I wanted to ask you, what's your most memorable sort of wardrobe malfunction or mishap? I'm sure that you've had plenty.
There's been a few. The largest one probably was a Christmas show, and I was doing it to a number called for Jingle Bell Rocks kind of thing, but I decided to make a shimmy belt just out of jingle bells. So when I'm shaking my hips, it's just really the sound is out there, not realizing that they can fall off my belt. So I hit a jingle bell that had fallen onto the floor, like the little metal bells, like a banana skin.
Oh no.
Pretty much. It was like a comic act. And it was the last few seconds of my act. So I was I hit it, went straight up, bam, hard on my ass. And I feel like the whole audience went.
Because they did.
I bet some thought it was part of the routine.
Well, it's and then I just sat there and was like, yes. I just kind of made it funny and glamorous. And the whole audience was like, yay! I don't know. It's yay, she didn't kill herself or she recovered, and I feel like that's what it is.
You hurt yourself?
No, I didn't hurt myself. Yeah, it was just one of those moments because you could sit there and just be like, oh my god. And I've had it where the music has stopped completely.
Oh yeah.
and started, and I just always kind of go
Yeah,
with
the wrong
it.
song comes
Oh
on.
yeah, no, I was.
You're just standing there waiting, like, okay, I'll be here till you get my song.
I was at a huge show, and the music, they tried twice to like find it, and I was just like, just play something, and just did the whole number.
Right. That's skill.
Yeah, and it's
that
just
is
like
skills.
it's gonna be what it is, because you can't stop the show, and you want to always have fun and keep that energy going. You don't want to be like, oh, because I've seen people just stop and be like, oh, DJ, you're such a dick. You know what I mean? It's like you're working as a team. You can't call anybody out. It just has to be
It's
like,
just like, you know,
okay.
yeah, when you're on stage in a band, like, you just kind of have to go with it. Sometimes the monitors completely go out, and you can't hear anything, but you just got to keep doing it.
Yeah,
Just keep the show must go on.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
where it came from. Kitten DeVille, where can we find you?
As far as shows,
Socials
social
and-
media,
yeah,
pretty
everything.
much
Shows.
everything is kittendeville.com, Instagram Kitten DeVille, Facebook Kitten DeVille, Twitter. I mean, it's just Kitten DeVille pretty much
Everywhere.
everything, trying to make it simple. And upcoming, the largest shows that are coming up, I've got Viva Las Vegas,
Fun.
which will be at the Orleans Arena. So like this
I've
huge
been wanting to go to
thousands-
that.
Yeah.
I have never been.
And yeah, so that this show is going to be some really amazing.
You performed there last year, correct?
No,
Or did you went?
Viva Las Vegas, I haven't been for a few years.
Oh, okay.
Now.
Okay.
Yeah. And John Waters is going to be our host this
fun.
year, so that's really, I'm excited to meet
Yeah.
him. And then Burlesque Hall of Fame is also in Vegas at the Orleans, and that's going to be in June. The other one's April. And I'm there on the Sunday night for I think it's the 9th of June for that one, are the
Cool.
two larger shows that are
Uh-huh.
coming up. And for smaller shows, I have a lot of Apollo Sex shows coming up, and
Which
I have
we
some
need to know about.
Yeah, and I'll let you guys know about it as those are. I have some in March, 29, 30, and 31st.
And you can find them. Yeah, and you can find them all. I'm sure on kittendeville.com.
Kittendeville.com. There's a little Apollo Sex part for that.
Love the name, by the way.
And then on Instagram and Facebook, it's Apollo Sex. So
there you
easy
go.
to find for that one as well.
All right.
Well,
Well, Kitten DeVille, do you have any more questions? That was a good question.
Yeah, no, I think that's about it. It's very exciting.
Thank you again for the lesson. You guys will
thank you
see the lesson of the bump and grind and the things flying all over the place. I hope I didn't give a sneak peek of any of my girls or anything. I don't know. But Kitten DeVille, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. I
It
really
has been
appreciate
fun.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love it.
And any shout outs, Kitten DeVille?
No, just hello to everybody, and no. I love you all.
Yeah, there you go.
Love it.
Yeah, so thank you so much for tuning into Raghouse Media, empowering girls and women in music, sports, and entertainment. My co-host, Shewer Girl,
What up?
and Kitten DeVille. And you can find Kitten DeVille on all her social media, kittendeville.com, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You guys have a good one.